this is basically what I'm doing for my displays. So what I've done is some of the stores up here, they look at it per square foot. So this display takes up not a whole bunch, it basically takes up 3 square feet. So they didn't give me a limitation on the height. So basically by the time everything's said and done, the top is going to be 36 inches from outside to outside. And from the back to the front, we're going to be exactly 12 inches. So that is exactly 3 square feet. I figured out where I wanted my shelves. The bottom one off the floor, there's enough room that you can get a broom in there and clean it or something like that. But then each one is based off of my my containers that I sell the honey. So my buckets are 8 inches high, so we've got 9 in here. My 1 kg jars are 5 inches, I got 6. And then, of course, my 14-ounce jars are only 4 inches, so here I've got 6 as well. So basically 6, 6, and to set it all up. The top, I'll fasten on the top, and I made all this out of 3/4 inch fir. The reason I went with 3/4 inch plywood, it's expensive, but there's going to be quite a bit of weight on this shelf. So I want there to be enough support, you know, to support the honey pails and stuff like that. The shelves, as you can see, I'll take these out if hopefully it won't fall. But I've got them all routed in here so that basically everything will fit together. Now this is a shelf display that's going to be in a store, so I have to make sure that it's all sanded down well. Don't want any of the customers to get a sliver or anything like that. That could create all sorts of issues for the store itself. So all of this, it will be all faced with the facing board and stuff like that to make sure that it's all sanded down good and there's no chance of slivers. I also, you can see I routed them in the back, and so that everything will fit right together really well. That's basically it. I'm going to probably get this all glued and nailed together. I'm going to be using brad nails, something that I can easily fill. I know I like staples and stuff, but in this case, the glue is going to be doing the majority of the holding. The brad nails is just kind of a little bit of added insurance. So I'll get this pulled apart. I made 2 of these, so as I cut one, I cut enough for 2. But so I'll get these done, and then I'm going to show you what I'm going to use the top for the display. So once again, I try to learn from those out there. So I've contacted some friends of mine who are marketing experts. The other thing I remember is I remember seeing on Bob Binney's channel, and he's got one where he does kind of a walkthrough of his store and everything, and he goes upstairs and he had made the comment when he was showing us what he uses to sell his honey. He made the comment that if your honey is placed beside other honey in a store, your display is going to help you sell your honey. So I want to make sure that this catches my customer's attention. I want to make sure that it stands out, and I really want it to showcase my honey and my honey containers. So that's kind of what this is. So I'll go ahead and we'll get this all nailed together, and then I'll start doing the facing and everything on there. And then, of course, obviously, as you heard me say a million times before, the finishing is what really makes it pop and stand out. So I'll get it nailed together. I'll show you the facing that I put on it, and then we will build the main display right up top. Here we go. So this is 3/4 inch material. So typically what I like to try and do is, if it's 3/4 inch material I'm going to hold here, I like to have at least 3/4 inch holding here. So 3/4, 3/4. We're going to go with 1.5 inch brad nails. Making sure everything lines up. And I'll show you what I mean. So the grooves here on the inside, you want to make sure that they meet up on each one. Now these were all ripped. They were all cut and then they were all ripped all at the same time through the saw, or all using the dado blade. So they should line up perfectly. Okay, so now we've got all our pieces cut. They just kind of fit right in there. I've numbered them, which one is which. So being as they were custom cut to fit, they just will fit right in there. So they're the same width as the plywood, and of course they come out flush to the end. We can go ahead and glue all these and nail them in. And then I cut pieces for the ends as well. Isn't that compressor great? Hardly hear it. Cut it for the end as well. So now what this is this finishes all the plywood edges off. You can't get a plywood sliver anywhere. So a real quick sand of all of this will finish it off just nicely. Okay, so I ripped my piece for the top, and then I dug out the dado blade, and I did the same thing. So I made the dados so that it'll fit on here. Now, if you're going to do it the same way as I did, make sure that your plywood is square, make sure that your shelf is square, because doing this, if this isn't square, this isn't going to fit. Like a glove. I go ahead and glue that, and we'll get that nailed on as well. I think I'm going to take this down to nail it. And then we're going to put our face on, basically, of the three sides. This one, I'm going to actually 45 these corners just to kind of finish it off nicely. We're getting there. This one's ready for the facing on the edge. Okay, now we got our pieces for both ends cut. We can glue and nail them on. Sanded. Now we just got to get them all stained up, painted up, and then put together. They're coming. All right, so got this all stained up. I don't know who all's following my channel, but I just got off a really good live chat with Ian Stepler, Brad Hogg, and a gentleman there that Brad is mentoring. So if you get a chance, go back, take a look at that video, that live stream of Brad's. Give them a like and take a look. Always a pleasure talking to those guys, and just the wealth of knowledge that Brad and Ian have. You can never get enough about talking with those guys about bees. So get a chance, go over, check that out. Anyways, we got all this stained up now. I got my boxes on the top. So this is basically going to be my display. I got a little bit left to do, so let's see here. I took a frame. Now, I attached a piece of wood on the side of the frame, and the idea behind this is it's going to fit right in the bee boxes here. Which one is this? This is one of the top frames. So you can see how it's going to start filling it in. And we're going to put the foundation back in there. So one of the things that that I learned from watching videos, and Bob Binnies, I think I mentioned it earlier in this video, he was saying if you got to put your honey up against somebody else, what's going to sell your honey is your display. So I put a little bit of extra time and a little bit of extra effort into these displays, and I'm hoping it's going to pay off. So we're going to put this in here. That'll get nailed in. I'll grab another one here for the bottom so that you can kind of see how they're going to fit. So they pretty much get nailed in like that. And you can see it's going to finish the back off and nothing will be able to fall to the back. So what a better place to buy your honey than from a local beekeeper out of a bee box. So let's see if I've got some buckets and stuff here, and I'll just throw it in here so you can kind of understand maybe the concept of what I was going to try and do. So I got my 14-ounce jars. They can sit on the top. I'm going to move the camera down here a little bit just so that everybody can see it as well. So they're going to fit up top and they're going to fit there. So this will be the main display, stores for the store. We can put the 1 liter jugs in there, and with the bee box it's high enough that I can stack them up too high and too deep. And of course the pails are going to fit in there too. Second shelf is where the additional go on, and once again they can go too deep there. Excuse me, I can go too high, and as well as that's the bottom shelf. Still leave room for easy for housekeeping or house cleaning and stuff like that out of the store as well. So should work out fairly good, but that's pretty much it. I thought about putting a third box up top and then putting a shelf in here and going both ways. Now, I decided against it just simply because, well, move the camera back up here. Don't want to have too much overkill, so I think I can place these, you know, all the way along the top, which will finish the display off quite nicely. So that's kind of where I'm at. So it should be able to hold a fair amount of honey. Hopefully, I can't keep it full, right? I'll be selling it all, but that's kind of where we're at and what I've got. So, and of course, why make one? When you can make two. So once again, just not sure what we're going to do with the box there. So probably not have that third box up there. So this one I haven't got stained or anything yet, but it is all pretty much built up and ready to go. So they're also small enough and light enough I can put them in the back of my truck. They'll work really well at say night markets or farmers markets and stuff like that too. So I'm pretty happy with how these turned out. So let me get these all nailed in, and then we'll look at trying to fill them up, and I'll show you what they're going to look like in the store.